Okay, you know what? I'm not doing three different videos for Belle Collective. I'm gonna do all one video. I don't think that we needed three parts. So I'm gonna keep it real and we're gonna do one part, one video. Carlos, I like the suit. I like the suit a lot. You go. Tamara, I felt was the best dress. The pink and silver was adorable. Letitia's outfit has been, for the last 3 weeks, we have been sadly having to witness the worst outfit. Get it together. You cannot breathe. Your breasts are hanging out. It is tacky upon tacky upon tacky. We talk about the women's empowerment brunch again and talking about this 9 to 5 comment. I stand by the fact that I thought that the 9 to 5 comment was tacky. I struggle with this concept saying that I wasn't drinking, but we know that you were drinking. But some people, I think it's how you said it, it's not what you said. And realizing that you are going to be working extremely hard if you are an entrepreneur or if you have a career. But the problem is that Leticia's comment is all the way, she can't keep her story straight. Who was offended? Some people who called you, was it some people who called you, some people who came to you? Then you had Akeisha over here chiming in. Some people said that they were offended and contacted her, but she was like, but I wasn't there. I don't know why you adding to this comment. Nobody, you just trying to put your 2 cents in. Latrice argues that people were okay with this comment. People were responded positively when she said it. Now we get into the conversation about how Latrice, Leticia, and Marie. Well, Latrice felt that if there was a problem, you should have told her immediately. You shouldn't have waited to come in on the show. Latrice, Leticia, and Marie were conspiring against Tamara. Leticia and Marie vehemently and denies it. I Nobody believes it. Um, Marie does admit that Latrice was a little tipsy at the event. Okay. Okay, so now we get into this Latrice when it came to the So Gucci thing. Latrice is like, I had two realtors. I lied to uplift my people and said that So Gucci was the best realtor in Alabama. She ain't, or in Jackson. And So Gucci admits that she's not. So Gucci was not speaking to her. So Gucci felt that she should have told her what it was about. Latrice is like, you barely spoke. You showed me two properties. It wasn't anything. And she doesn't feel that she owes her an apology. So Gucci didn't have a contract. And she just didn't think that she was going to go with anyone else. The question is, how long do you think that you're going to wait to have no communication with your client? Like low key, that's a legit thing. Like I've signed with a few agents and before, and it didn't work out. We didn't find anything or whatever. But I didn't do it at the same time. After a while, when I don't speak with you or you don't speak with me, I think there's an assumption that they're going to find somebody else. So there's that. Um, Latrice did have she claims that she didn't have her records pulled per se, but someone pulled them and shared them with her. So we're playing semantics. Um, Akeisha makes a comment that how she feels that Latrice is hurt and she's very guarded, which I think that she is absolutely correct. And this leads into the longer conversation that I fundamentally feel that Latrice is being abused. Um, we saw it on national television. We saw the marks that she couldn't cover up. We saw him grabbing her. That was way too strongly. I have never had a man grab me. My husband has never grabbed me. I don't know of a situation that he would have the um that capacity to where he's going to grab me behind closed doors or even in person. And if he's so comfortable to do this while the cameras are rolling, then we have a bigger conversation to have. Um, sorry, I'm not gonna believe it. So Marie, oh, the Fair Street. Marie is like, y'all were doing the same thing to Aikisha and Latrice, Letitia. And Aikisha's like, we were not doing the same thing. Letitia finally admits, I ain't got the money. I'm gonna boil it all down because she likes to talk in circles, and I'm gonna boil it all down. I ain't got the money. I had a dream. I had a dream, but I ain't got no money. And Aikisha has the money, the backing, the everything, and so therefore she's able to do things I can't do. I think that that's a legitimate thing. Um, Letitia and Aikisha had a bumpy road, all about the brunch. These, nothing. She has not had one successful brunch, and she's still talking about at the end that she's going to take her brunches on the road. Ma'am, who's going to these brunches? I need to talk to the women who's going to these brunches. Anyway, um, so Akeisha's saying that she's taking one building at a time, even when Willie came out and was like, we're trying to make a significant contribution to our entire community. And it's not as easy per se because we have people who actively do not want these neighborhoods to be revitalized for Black people. I believe it. Tamara sent out a text to all the Bells and about going to the Capitol building. Um, Tamara did not invite Marie because she didn't have her number to invite her. She told Letitia to invite Marie. Or she told Letitia, Tamara told Letitia that Marie was not invited. So Marie felt, and Letitia is the one who called Marie. Marie feels that um Tamara doesn't want her around, and Letitia's like Tamara's cousin was the one involved with the Capitol, um, and putting it together. So it makes sense as to why Marie is the one who's wasn't invited. After which, for some insane reason, I don't understand how this started popping off, even when I watched it. Why Latrice and Letitia was about to get into this fight. Marie up there trying to fight Latrice. I already know. I mean, Marie's gonna try to fight Latrice because she don't like Latrice. She thinks Latrice is phony. I can see that. And then it continues with Marie open to having a man who has something. Um, she feels that she cannot help her mom, um, i.e., her mom's back on drugs. She makes a comment saying that Tamara still doesn't clock in. That's her biggest beef with Tamara, that she doesn't really show her life. Latricia started clocking in. Tamara was really upset that Marie's the one who told everyone about her pregnancy when the show went above and beyond to try to tell her to keep her pregnancy silent. Marie hasn't truly apologized. Well, she does kind of apologize, but she doesn't. Okay, y'all. I could not understand Marie's explanation. I listened to it twice. How was Tamara's ex-boyfriend that she hasn't talked to in years? Explain to me, yo. Explain what does that have to do with creating danger for everyone, which is why they need to speak to why she felt she needed to speak. And Tamara's putting everybody in danger. And so therefore her talking to him, and she should have told everybody about what this guy was about and everything else, because you're putting everyone in danger. Explain that to me when she hasn't contacted him and he hasn't contacted her in years. I didn't understand that. Nobody can understand that for me. I didn't get it. Marie apologizes. Again, who cares? Um, Latrice says that she did know about Tamara's ex because Tamara discussed it on the radio, but the thing is that it hasn't been discussed on the show. JJ has God darn it written in his hair, which is whatever. Carlos is like, look, we need subtitles because really, in order to understand JJ and um, Cliff, you need subtitles. Demond is not there because the claim is that he's with the baby. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't believe. Latrice and Cliff. They get into now. Latrice claims that she has specifically asked Carlos to have a conversation about the violence because people were talking about their violence on, online. And she's trying to prove that she is not a domestic violence victim. So he asks, does it happen often? She's like, no. Do they call each other names? Saying, does he call you a B? Well, I call him one. So clearly she's protecting him. She claims that it's not an abusive relationship. Aikisha is like, look, Cliff is like, well, if she was being abused, she can call 911. Aikisha's like, there are a lot of women out there who do not call 911 when they get hit upside the head. And I think the way that Latrice and Cliff are sitting and the way that she holds her face, there is going to be a day, I promise you, give it time. There's going to be a day that all of it is going to come out. It's not going to happen soon, but it's going to happen. And it is true. Like, there's so much about him he could have asked. Like, you left to go with your brother. You're sleeping in a whole different bedroom in the house. Like, explain this to us. Josh says that he doesn't feel that he inserted himself into the marriage, but low key, she tells him things. And so then he brings up stuff that she's not willing to bring up. So Latrice is the point in bringing Josh into the marriage. I did not like, he doesn't feel that she's unsafe. I don't believe him. Cliff apologizes to how he treats Josh. Josh was probably going to apologize if Cliff wasn't speaking to him in the way that he was. Cliff was demeaning. I don't understand why he was being asked to come over to where they were. Um, the fact that he broke down into tears, Latrice didn't move, bothered me. She moves after the fact to say, go fix your face. Even Cliff was making a statement like, I didn't want to marry her. She's the one who tracked me down to marry her. I mean, he consistently embarrasses her on national television. People are like, oh, all these men are toxic. I was like, Willie makes all these men look like he looks like a knight compared to all these men. People are like, well, that's behind because he ain't showing what's behind closed doors. At least he's not embarrassing his wife on national television. Because all these men embarrass their wives on national television. We move to part three, which is Glenn and Marie talking about how they improved. Marie says that Glenn has improved. We have Letitia talking about being engaged. You mean you want to have a vow renewal? Okay. Um, Letitia is explaining how women are still in his DMs. Um, Glenn said that he rewatched the scene with the stripper and looking at Cliff. He didn't like the position that Cliff, like the way that Cliff said it is not exactly what actually happened. And so he's like, I hadn't talked to Cliff about it, but I didn't like that. Akeisha and Willie, they talked about how they're helping Mississippi. I've said that before. So it looks like we're gonna get them back on next episode, next season, probably. SC, they asked him, like, how do you like Carlos? How did you like working with Marie? She's like, you mean EC? Essie? Marie's talking about how she's retiring and she's not working, she just cuts checks. And I worked hard to put myself in this position. I worked hard so I don't have to be involved in all that. I just cut checks. And so and Keisha's like, so like I said, I worked hard for EC. Um, so Gucci, okay, this is how I want to end it. So Gucci, you're trash. And any sense of grace that I was giving you before, it goes out the door every single time I'm reminded on how you treated these girls. So you in your little mind, and they rewound the tapes to show that you really did say that you were going to throw a drink on this chick. You in your mind think that getting into a physical altercation and pressing charges. Physical altercation, you can kind of work past that, but taking it to the courts, pressing charges against their mother, they're going to be cool with you. I actually saw somebody saying it's not okay for you guys to try to get her, the audience to put children, to try to get them to choose between their father and their mother. No, nobody wants them to choose between a father and a mother. What we don't want is a step parent stepping in the midst of a relationship between two people. They stepped this man stepped in the midst of a relationship. This woman, sorry, so Gucci, my bad, stepped in the middle of a relationship between a father and his two girls. And he actually sided with his wife in saying that it was okay to press charges. What a husband is supposed to do is simmer the relationship, simmer it down, be like, these are my kids. I want to see my grandkids. You're going to cause me to not see my grandkids because you don't like the mother of my kids. And she is still talking about combing these girls' hair. I don't give a flying patootie about combing these girls' hair. I don't. You did not give birth to these children. You are not their mother. I don't care what you did for them. You are not their mother. And to disrespect their mother, pressing charges is a bridge too far. There will be no we cool. I do like how the fact that Carlos simmered it down because it was not going to be pleasant. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of the mother of my stepdaughter. I am not. But would I ever put hands on her? No. I haven't even cursed her out. And I wanted to many a day. Why? Because how I jump into the mix is going to affect the relationship my husband has with his child. And it could be if I'm still going, if I made the decision, if we, like So Gucci, you decide to get married to somebody who has kids, and it's going to be until the time you married to 30, 40, 50 years, I'm not going to jump in the mix of getting into an altercation with their parent in order to what and to say I'm right. What does that do? What does that do? The goal, you could do a lot of things. You could have went into the corner and don't say anything. You could have said hello and kept it walking. You could have done so many things. What you did not need to do is that. And I'm not absolving her by hitting So Gucci. I don't think that that was right either. But my point is, I'm not pressing charges. That's a bridge too far. But anyway, that's all I have um, on the Belle Collective part 1 through 3. And I'll see y'all later.